हरे कृष्ण। नवमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निधि नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 8, text number 16. Brahma bhavanan loka punarravratin arjuna mamupetya dukanteya punarjanma na vidyate. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death takes place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. For example, please mute yourself. So this is the words where Krishna, after explaining the nature of this material world, which is Dukhalyam Ashashvatam, this material world is a place of misery. And then here Krishna is explaining Brahma Bhuvanan Loka Punaravratino Arjuna. Brahma Bhuvanan Loka means the Brahmalok, which is considered the highest planet in this material world, uh, down to the lowest planet. Everywhere, every planet, every place in this material creation, as Krishna already labeled it, it says Dukhalyam. It's a place of miseries. And what are the miseries? The repeated cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. So, no matter one goes to the topmost planet, which is Brahmaloka, or the lowest planet, somewhere, this everywhere these miseries exist: birth, death, old age, and disease. If somebody goes even to the Brahmaloka also, Punaravrati no Arjuna. Krishna is saying here that one has to come back again. So, from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of miseries wherein repeated birth and death takes place. What is the way out? So, with the Bhagavatam explains, then this material world, everybody has a one goal, same goal. Externally, it might look like everybody is trying different things to achieve in this world. Somebody wants to become rich, somebody wants to become powerful, or whatever it is. But ultimately, Bhagavatam explains that every one of us are trying to achieve the one same goal, which is Atyantika Dukh Nivriti, how to become free from the miseries, how to reduce the miseries, and how to become more and more happy. That's the only one goal. The details may vary. Somebody thinks by becoming a rich man, I can be happy. Somebody thinks by becoming powerful man, I can be happy and my miseries will be reduced. But Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita gives us a different perspective. They say that no matter whatever you achieve, wherever you reach by your endeavors in this material world, even up to the Brahmalok, which is considered the topmost planet, there also the same miseries exist. Right. So people work hard. People in different countries, they try to go to different places for different opportunity, different jobs. Somebody says, okay, let us go to US. The standard of living are very high. Death rate is very low. Something like that. People have their own calculation. One time, one reporter asked Srila Prabhupada that Swamiji, you come uh, from a poor country like India, where death rate is very high. Uh, so then Prabhupada says, death rate is same everywhere. It is 100%. So It does not matter that somebody is in India or somebody is in America, somebody is in a lower planet or higher planet, or rich or not so rich, educated or not so educated. The real problems of life, which has been identified, Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita, is Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, Dukkha, Dosha, Anudarshanam. These are the problems: birth, death, old age, and disease. So it exists everywhere, even up to the Brahma Loka. So, what is the way out? So that Krishna first is explaining in this verse, A Brahma Bhuvanan Loka Punar Avratin Arjuna. If somebody goes to the even top planet, Brahma Loka or Swarg Lok, or many different lokas, different planets are there, where the standard of living, the opulences are much higher than what we can even imagine on this planet, right? But then also we get the information from the scriptures, from Bhagavad Gita only. Krishna explains, Chine Punya Martha Lokam Vishanti, because of some pious credits, some good deeds, one can be promoted to some higher planets like Brahmalok or Swargalok or any other lok. But as soon as those pious credits are, uh, you know, reduced, when they are exhausted, then Mrityulokam Vishanti, one has to come back to this material world. And again, then the same. And even somebody goes to uh, the Brahmalok also or any other lok, the same problems, but maybe more opulences are there, but problems are same: birth, death, old age, and disease. People, their death is there even in the Brahmalok also. One has to die. But Brahma has to die after millions and billions of years. And on the earth planet, somebody, all of us has to die, maybe say in 100 years. So problem is same, but the packaging is a little different. The goal is Atyanta Dukkha Nivritti. How to become free from this dukkha, birth, death, old age, and disease. So Krishna is giving the solution that unless we realize, Prabhupada explains, unless we realize who is God and what is our relationship with God, and then there is a God's abode. God lives in a spiritual world. And then there is a way that God suggests, Krishna suggests, how you can attain that spiritual world. And once you attain that spiritual world, yat gatva na nivartante, once you achieve that planet, the spiritual planet, then you never comes back. And the nature of that spiritual planet is it is all Satchidanand. There is constant pleasure, there's a bliss. The life is full of bliss, full of knowledge. It's eternal life. There's no birth, there's no death, there's no old age and disease. So how to achieve that? So that information is given. So Krishna is saying here, Mam upetya tu kaunteya. If one attains my abode, Punarjanmana vidyate. He never takes birth again. So once we transfer ourselves to the spiritual planet, to Goloka Vrindavan, Krishna's abode, then all this dukkha nivrati automatically happens. One becomes free from all this dukkha nivrati. So now question is how to attain Krishna's abode. So Prabhupada explains here in the purport, he says all kinds of yogis, the different yogis, which Krishna talks in Bhagavad Gita, Karma Yogi, Jnana Yogi, Ashtanga Yogi, Hatha Yogi. So the different yogis, their destinations are different. So Karma Yogi, they through the Karma Yoga practice, they can enjoy in this material world a lot of opulences. Jnana Yogi can even attain the liberation. And then Hatha Yogi, they can have some mystic powers. But these are also not the permanent solution of the real problems, which is Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. So Krishna, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport here that eventually one had to attain the devotional perfection in Bhakti Yoga. So yes, one can practice Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, whatever yoga. But unless somebody comes to the level of Bhakti Yoga or devotional service or Krishna consciousness, and there's no way that one can transfer himself to the transcendental abode of Krishna. Punarjanmana vidyate, mamupetya tu. Once achieve the planet, then we never takes birth again in this material world. So ultimately, one had to come to the level of devotional service, the bhakti yoga, right? Otherwise, somebody can go to even higher planets, planets of different demigods, Swargalok, Brahmalok. Same problems exist there also. And then finally, one will fall down. Forget about even going to other planets. Even somebody goes out of all those planets, even beyond Brahmaloka. Brahmaloka is the topmost planet in this material creation. Somebody goes beyond that, which is called Brahma Jyoti. Bhagavatam explains that if somebody attains even the Brahma Jyoti, from there also one can fall down. Ye anyar vindaksha vimukta marena tvayashta bhava shuddha muktaya. So Bhagavatam explains if somebody attains even the Brahma Jyoti also, one can patantyadaha, one can fall down even from that status also. So none of those attempts will uh, will be considered as the real success of human form unless somebody comes to the Bhakti Yoga, Krishna consciousness, loving devotional service to Lord Shri Krishna, and through that process, one can transfer oneself to beyond this material creation, which is the spiritual world, Krishna's abode, Goloka Vrindavan. So Krishna is saying that Mamupetya tu Kaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. One never takes birth again here in this material world. Otherwise, different yogis they might try different things, and there might be some temporary relief, some more opulences or something like that. But finally, they had to return back. It is like the Ferris wheel. You see the wheel, something stuck, so that it goes round and round. Right? Sometimes it is on top, and the next moment it comes down. Then again top, it comes down. Like a football. You kick the football, it goes up, and then it comes down. So our situation in this material world is like a football, right? So we are kicked by some arrangement, the material arrangement, based on our karma. Sometimes we goes up and then we fall down again. So if you want to stop this repeated cycle of birth and death, then this is the way. Mam pete dukandya punar janmana vidyate. Krishna saying, you attain my abode. And how to attain Krishna's abode? We have to attain through the bhakti. Otherwise, it's not possible. We keep going round and round, up and down, up and down. Brahmanda Brahmite. Kaun Bhagyavan Ajeev in the entire Brahmanda, the entire universe, we're going up and down, up and down. So many lifetimes were taken like that. But if somebody becomes fortunate, Kaun Bhagyavan Jeev, then good fortune arises by the mercy of a bona fide spiritual master, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai. By the mercy of a bona fide Guru, spiritual master, then one receives the mercy of Krishna also, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai, and then we get the Bhakti Lata Beach. We get the seed of bhakti, the seed of devotional service, the seed of Krishna consciousness, and then our life completely changes, transforms. It's a different journey, different destination, right? So with the practice of Krishna consciousness, one gradually go higher and higher and higher, and then finally we attain the abode of Krishna, and then we never comes back. Here Srila Prabhupada talks about the Panchagni Vidya, various scriptures, they explain the different processes. So in the Katha Upanishad, this Panchagni Vidya has been explained. So through this process, one can attain Brahmaloka. What important thing is, Prabhupada explaining here is, there's no point of even attaining Brahmaloka. Somebody goes there, then he will falls down, right? That is why our Acharya explains, Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Shakale Vishera Bhanda. So whatever process you take, either Panchagni Vidya, Karma Kand you do, the scriptures talks about Karma Kanda means the section where they explains that it is recommended that one should do this puja, this worship, follow this rules, regulations. You will get and some opulences. You will attain this planet like that. So yes, one can do that, but the devotees they consider all of that as Vishera Bhanda. It is part of the poison. There's no point of working hard, putting so much time, energy, uh, practicing all of those Panchagni Vidya, Karma Kand, Gyan Kand, and some other processes. You might reach some planet, you might enjoy for some time, but Chine Punya Marthalokam Mishanti. You have to come down, fall back here. So, an intelligent person, a devotee, is very, very intelligent. By Guru's grace, he get the right intelligence. And so, a devotee never wastes his time in all these different processes. Rather, he focuses all his energy, his time, energy, and everything in the service of Lord Sri Krishna. And through that service, through the devotional service, then gradually he start to uplift himself and gradually go higher and higher up to the Krishna Loka, spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavan. Punarjanmana Vidyate. So this is the understanding of Krishna consciousness, following the footsteps of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, given even the next level of understanding. Here Krishna is saying Punarjanmana Vidyate. He never takes birth because we understand taking birth in this material world full of miseries, full of suffering. As Krishna says, Dukhalyam Ashashvatam, this is Dukhalyam. So nobody wants to come back here, nobody wants to take birth here in this material world, which is Dukhalyam, place of miseries. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy goes even next level. There's something beyond this also, beyond Punarjanmana Vidyate, that we say, oh, goal of life is never takes birth again. That's the goal of life. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches, no, that is also not the goal. Goal is something else. What is the goal? This is called the Pancham Purushartha, Prema Pumartho Mahan. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expresses, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavidam, vajagdish kame. I don't want dhanam, the wealth, janam, the fine following, sundarim, the beautiful wife, and then kavitam, the glorification. None of those things I want. I don't even want liberation. I don't care about liberation. Mam Janmani, Janmanishwar. I am ready to take birth again and again here in this material world. Krishna is saying Punarjanmana Vidyate. One should aspire for not taking birth again, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going next level. He is saying, I'm okay, I'm okay to I'm ready to take birth again in this material world again and again. Mam Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahetukhi Twahi. Provided if I take birth again in this material world, if I am given the chance, the opportunity to render service Ahetuki Twahi, Bhakti Ahetuki. If I am given the opportunity to render unmotivated devotional service, then I even don't care. I don't bother about taking birth in this material world. So this is the highest thing which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has revealed. He is saying that I don't care about the Punarjanma also. I'll take the birth, but I want to remain engaged in the service of the Lord. So this is what is the Krishna conscious offers. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is offering. Srila Prabhupada is explaining these concepts that yes, we are not after even liberation. All these great yogis, jnanis, they're working hard. They want to become liberated, want to become free from uh, this bondage of repeated cycle of birth and death. But devotee's goal is not even that. Their only and only goal is seva, the unmotivated devotional service. Even one of the Acharya, Prabodhananda Saraswati, explains, Kavalyam Narkayate. He says, I consider Kavalyam, even the liberation, I consider as Narkayate. It is like the going to hell. What I'll do there, being liberated, if I don't have the chance to render service to Krishna, to serve Krishna, then I consider that without service, I consider my life like a hell. Right. So success of life is uh, the constant engagement in the devotional service of the Lord. Otherwise, whatever we achieve in life, it is considered failure as per the standard of Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam. Right. So that is important because devotee, when he is engaged in devotional service, then he is fully spiritualized. Prabhupada explains that if somebody is constantly engaged, uh, "Iya yasya hredashe karmana manasa gira, niklashopi avasthasu jivan mukta sa uchchade." Somebody is engaged fully, karmana manasa gira, from his actions, from his mind, from his words. Somebody is nicely engaged in the service of the Lord. Then he is already liberated soul. Jivan mukta sa uchchate. In this life itself, he is liberated. He doesn't care about liberation. He is happy. He is blissful. Right. So that is the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. That how we can engage ourselves more and more. Devotee is not scared of any other thing. His only fear of devotee is what if I lose my chance to serve Krishna. That's the only fear. Otherwise, uh, Nakudashana Vibhati, the Bhagavatam explains, uh, Swarga Pavarga Narkeshu says a devotee doesn't care that whether he go to the the heavenly planet, or he goes to the hell, or he goes to Apavarga liberation. He doesn't care about any of those things. He is fearless because he is engaged in the service of the Lord, and that gives him the confidence that he is under the direct protection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he's fearless, he is blissful. That is devotee's life. So one should aspire to attain this status of life, which is Krishna consciousness. Right. So this is the understanding. So Prabhupada one time he went to the Kumbh Mela, and then in the Kumbh Mela Prabhupada saw, before actually Prabhupada went, all his Western disciples, they went ahead of him to make some arrangements. So when they went there, for them it was a first time experience. Kumbh Mela, a lot of people, a lot of sadhus, all varieties of sadhus were there, and different groups, and they're doing different things, different processions. So these Westerners, disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they're flabbergasted by seeing that. Oh my God, so many things, and they're mesmerized by seeing many different varieties of sadhus. They're showing different some mystic powers and like that, and they got enamored by all of those things. And later, when Prabhupada came there, and then this devotee is fascinated by seeing those sadhus going in a procession, sitting on the elephant, and big following, and all of that. So they also thought that Prabhupada, we should also arrange for you an elephant. You should also sit on the top of the elephant. We'll also go on the procession and do the kirtan and all that. Prabhupada said, no, not me. We'll put Radha Krishna on the top of the elephant, and then we'll go on procession doing the kirtan. So Prabhupada's consciousness was always, that to put Krishna in forefront, wherein other sadhus they're putting themselves as the face like that. So, and then Prabhupada could sense that these devotees are getting so enamored, so fascinated by all these different things, and then Prabhupada, as being the spiritual master, has the duty to correct them. So Prabhupada corrected them by his own example that our goal is to always serve Radha Krishna. We had to serve Krishna. That's the only goal. Nothing matters. We don't even care about the liberation. The people goes to the Kumbh Mela, like there was a recent few months back in January. There is a Kumbh Mela. They called it Mahakumbh, which was like said that it came after 144 years after that it came. So it was a very unique opportunity, and then millions and billions of people made an attempt to go there, take a dip. And it is said in the scriptures during this Kumbh Mela, if anybody goes to the Sangam, the confluence of Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati river, and they go and take dip there, they become free from all their sinful reactions and they attain the liberation. But Prabhupada corrected his disciples. He says, no, we are not here for liberation. We are here for preaching, to share this message of Krishna consciousness, because that is the order of Krishna. That is the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yare dekhe tare kaho Krishna Upadesh. So following the instruction of Krishna, following the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is the greatest service. And we want to render service, we want to constantly remain engaged in the service of the Lord. And that is the goal, and that is the purpose the devotee has come. Prabhupada says that we have come here to preach, to share this knowledge, this message, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are not here for liberation. So crystal clear, the message of Krishna consciousness and Prabhupada's presentation. So clear, so unique that there's no wishy-washy what we want. Very clear. We want Krishna's seva. And that is what is our whole line of Guru Sishya Parampara has been conveying this message. Even the Bhakti Vinod Thakur says that, if I get the chance to become Brahma, I don't care about becoming Brahma. If there's an opportunity to render service to Krishna, I don't want to become Brahma, the topmost person in the entire creation. the most powerful personality in the entire creation. So I don't care. I'm ready to become a Keet. Keet Janma How. Jatatu Vadas. So I'm ready to become even a small insect. If that provides me an opportunity to render service to Krishna, I'll prefer that to become an insect. So this is what is the goal, the aspiration of a devotee in Krishna consciousness, and that is the message of Bhagavad Gita. That is the message of Bhagavatam. That is the message of Krishna consciousness, and Srila Prabhupada has presented this knowledge, this message so crystal clear. No confusion. We are not after Dhanam, Janam, Sundarim, Gavidam, liberation, nothing. We want only Bhaktad Bhaktir Ahetuki Twai, Krishna's devotional service, unmotivated, loving devotional service to the Lord. And if we do that, then Punarjanmana Vidyate, we are already free from this, the miseries of this material world, miseries of birth and death, old age and disease. Okay, otherwise, whatever we try to achieve in this material world, even up to the Brahmaloka, Brahma Bhumnaloka, Punaravrati in Arjuna, we have to come back again in the same cycle of repeated birth and death. So one should not waste their time in doing so many other things in this material world. Whatever is required just for basic minimum to survive, to live comfortable in this material world, so that we can practice Krishna consciousness. And that much only we should do. And then rest of the time and energy should be focused in serving Krishna, following the instruction of Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam. Okay. So these are some of the thoughts on this verse. We'll pause here and let me see if anybody has any question, any comment. You can unmute yourself and ask your question. No question, then we'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it